All right, everybody, welcome to another What's on Dave's Shelf. As you can see here, tonight I'm going to be showing you a bunch of basic Dungeons and Dragons goodies. These are all of the box sets that are not part of the BECMI series, which is the Basic, Expert, Companion, Master, and Immortals box sets. So I showed you guys the BECMI box sets last time and the Rule Cyclopedia. So in this video, I'm going to be showing you all of the other box sets and companion box sets that are kind of miscellaneous. And I don't think I'm missing any. There was a couple that I did need, and I'll talk about those here in a little bit. But I've got a lot to show you, so let's really get started here. So there's the Dungeons and Dragons box set. There's the Wrath of the Immortals box set, the Champions of Mystara box set. Then there are the other beginner box sets for basic D&D that have came out over the years, which is the 1106 box sets, which are identically the same. And then the 1999 TSR. This was the last box set ever. I believe it was the last box set ever that came out for basic Dungeons and Dragons. And it's The Adventure Begins Now. So we're going to take a look at all of these. And then lastly, on the very bottom, you guys can see this is the 1070 big box set. And this came out about the same time as the Rule Cyclopedia. So I'm going to put some of this stuff over here on the side so we can get going. And the first thing I'm going to show you is the basic Dungeons and Dragons, the new easy to master basic Dungeons and Dragons box set, where epic adventures with wizards, dragons, and magic. And this box set, it came out in 1991, and as I mentioned, this came out right around the time when the Rules Cyclopedia came out. And this was I remember I bought it and the box set and the Rule Cyclopedia at the same time, and it was from a game store in Daytona Beach. It was Books A Million, and this was $20. I mean, this massive box of goodness was $20. I was like, wow, this is unbelievable for $20. So I bought it. I mean, I bought it, no problem at all. The hardest thing was toting this thing home in a bag on my bike, riding my bike home. So what do you get with this? I mean, there's so much stuff in this box set. I mean, it's just crazy. There's like a DM screen with a bunch of pull-out. As you can see, there's tabs. There's, Zanzar's Dungeon Adventure in here. All of the rules of play for quick start so you can give to your players and stuff. There's a ton of monster stand-ups, as you can see. There's a rule book. There's a beautiful map for Zanzar's Dungeon. I was like sold on the map because in basic D&D, you never saw beautiful maps like this, and you were like, "Oh man, this is a score right here." But yeah, this is $20, and this is box 1070. And I originally bought this, and my box was destroyed. Well, it was in really bad shape, and so I bought this. I bought this in the probably early 2000s, and I paid $10 for it at the game store. So I have I have an extra adventure book, an extra map, and an extra DM panel and stuff. So I may give these away as I may give these away as a giveaway because I do have extras. So let's open up this thing and let's check it out. So yeah, this is a box of goodness. I love this. So here's your read sheet first. Read this sheet first. It talks about everything D&D. Here's a Dragon and Dungeon magazine advertisement, or advertisement if you're from England. I wish the Rule Cyclopedia looked like that. Holy cow. I like that cover, but that's not the cover, but I wish it was. So here's another advertisement for the IF Trotter, part of the DA series and stuff. So, and then the Dimerack Dread, which this is a different color as well. This is the cover, purple cover, but this is not the cover. So, man, they were hyping you up, and then when you're seeing them, you're like, oh, they're not purple. And then, here's customer response card. You used to be able to send these in, and you know, that sometimes they'd send you other books and flyers. And here's the Dungeons and Dragons 91 Fall and Winter catalog. I've seen people looking for these before, but it has everything, you know, second edition, your Dragonlance, your Forgotten Realms, your Ravenloft, your Spelljammers. I've kind of retorted a little bit on what I thought about, you know, Spelljammer over the years. I actually found one of my Spelljammer modules and looked at it and I'm like, hey, this isn't half bad. And then here's like the Buck Rogers, all the other World of Greyhawk, Marvel Studios, Amazing, and all that other good stuff. So, yeah. Oh, Hollow World. I love Hollow World. I love the Gazetteers. Here's another catalog that it came with. In fact, I think in the first box I had, I think this was the book. And then when I bought this box set a couple years later, because my box is destroyed, this was the catalog. And it pretty much has all the same things. Look at that. All those old classic books and stuff. Even got comics. Look at that. Holy cow. And then here's Amazing. So here's the stand-ups. And these are the original stand-ups. And they're not punched. And they're very delicate. So I have to be delicate with these because they'll break apart. But you would take these apart, fold them together, and then you would actually have makeshift miniatures, because the advanced Dungeons and Dragons lead miniatures, the Rao Partha miniatures, those were expensive for a kid, you know. And here's what they look like as they're all put together and stuff. These were in the box set that I bought after the fact, which I paid actually $10 at the used bookstore that we had, and I was stoked. I used to always go in there and ask the lady if they had D&D stuff, and then I gave her my. Back when you used to have a home phone number, remember that, guys and gals, back before you had cell phones everywhere? Yeah, and before email and everything, she would give me a call at my house or leave a message on my answering machine. Anybody remember those too? So yeah, that's where I got that. Here's the Dungeon Master screen. It's a beautiful, 2-panel or 3-panel. Look at that. It's not cluttered with 3 panels of conditions and art. Look at that. That's a real DM screen right there. And then here's all of the cards and stuff and the adventure and stuff that you can pass out, and it has all the rules, and yeah, it's really, really cool. I was shocked. I didn't even know it had the cards until I actually opened it up. But I mean, it has everything on there, everything that you need. I'm so worried I'm going to break that. I don't want to break this stand-ups. So here's Zanzar's. I've mentioned Zanzar's Dungeon, but yeah, this is a beautiful map, man. The 1-inch grid. I mean, it's made of. I think it's like a paper, but it almost kind of feels like parchment. And this is Zanzar's Dungeon, and it's a beautiful map. I mean, it's beautiful. Look at that. This is amazing, and it's 4-panel. I'm just not folding it out because it's so huge. But and then here's the rule book, and the rule book has everything you need. I mean, it has all the stuff for classes up to up to the first couple of levels. I think like level 5 or something like that. Let me check. Yeah, level 5. Yeah, oh wow, nice MacGyver turn on the page there. Yeah, so it goes up to level 5. Then it has all of your equipment, the spells, all the rules, talking about the turn and initiative, and there's your spells. It has monsters. It has all that stuff. So, but the Dungeon Master section tips on running a game and stuff. But the adventure itself for Zanzar's Dungeon, and this broke too. But this is actually always broke since I bought it. I should probably try to tape it, but there's a bunch of, oh, this is where those dice went. Dude, I have been looking for these. I have been looking for this white set of dice for years, and I'm like, I know I had these. And then look at that, ahoy. They are in the darn basic big box. Unbelievable. I was looking for these. I knew I bought these. I'm setting those aside. Yeah, look at that. So there's more of the creature stand-ups, but that, this is everything that came with the box set. I mean, it's, for $20, that's a beautiful box set. And like I said, I've got another full. In fact, if I do a giveaway for the extra box set that I have, which is right here, I'll also give you if I do the giveaway, I'll give the winner all of the creatures that are already, broken apart and put together. So yeah, this is a great box set, and there's actually a lot of regurgitation with this box set, as you're going to see over the next couple of box sets. But this was the big box set. This is the 1706 or 1070 box set, beginner box set, and this came out about the same time as the Rule Cyclopedia, like I said, and I bought this immediately, and I was in love with it, especially because of the map and all the standouts, the stand-up pogs and stuff. I was like, dude, that's ridiculous. So we're going to talk about two other box sets as well, and these are the beginner box sets too, and this is the 1106 box set. And it's the same box set as the big box set that I just shown you, except for there's no cards in these, like the fold out DM screen and the cards. But yeah, I bought these, and these actually, when these came out, these were $20 as well. So these were $20. I got these brand new. The Dragon box here, it's withstood the test of time, but this one hasn't. This box is in pretty bad shape. I've actually had to tape it in a few spots, as you can see. But I mean, everything inside is beautiful. So, you got a set of. I cannot believe I found these dice. Unbelievable! I cannot believe I found these. I'm so stoked. So it came with a nappy, ugly set of dice. The one thing that these box sets came with that the big box set didn't come with were these unpainted red plastic miniatures. So you actually got, there's like 6 of them in here. And these are the same miniatures that are in the other one. And not only did you get these, look at my little bag. Remember Rudolph? Remember the Rudolph Ziploc bags? Yeah, I used to put cookies in them for my son and stuff. And then he'd take them to school and stuff. But yeah, I was a big nerd like that. So here you go. Here's all the same pogs that were in the other box set. Well, not the pogs, but the stand-ups. Here's the classic Dungeons and Dragons. This is the new Dungeon Master screen that came with it. This is so cheap, but I mean, it fits the purpose of it. I mean, it has all of the charts and tables that you need, and actually look at that wasted space, and look at that wasted space. So a little bit of art, but yeah, it's got that. Here's the rules and adventure book. Yeah, look at that. My box is all broken and stuff. Oh boy. So here's the rules and adventure book. It has everything in it. It has the adventure, the same Zanzar's Dungeon adventure that was in the big box set. And these box sets, the big box set came out in 91, like I said. But this box set and the black and the gold box set, these came out in 1994. And they both had a $20, price point. And, like I said, it's the same information in this book pretty much, but it's just displayed a little bit differently. And in this book, it has Zanzar's Dungeon. So, and it has a monster manual, and, and the way that this book does the adventure, it does it in 3 parts throughout the book. And it talks about the rules and mechanics as you're playing the adventure. So, and then it has some kind of choose your own adventure types of themes as well, to where you can have the adventures. If they want to go here, go to this or whatever. So yeah. and here's another Zanzar's Dungeon map. It's the same map as before. And then here's a couple of flyers that were in the box. Nice. Turn off the light switch, will you? Yeah, there you go. Check it out. The RPGA Network. Oh, that was so good. I was actually part of that. And then here's a customer response card again. They've actually gotten a little bit bigger since 91. So yeah, there you go. There's the first 1106 box set, which is the black box set. And like I said, it pretty much had everything as the big 1070 box set, except for, like I said, these box sets came with plastic miniatures, and it didn't have that big fold-out screen with all the other cards and stuff. So, but here's the other one as well, and we'll just kind of real quickly glance, the dice, and here's the. I love to fold these damn things. I don't know. I'm glad I did it with these instead of the more expensive stuff like B10 and all the other gazetteers and stuff. So, but yeah, this has the same content. There's the same 6 miniatures, the same cheesy dice set. There's the rules and adventures book. Here's the DM screen as well, and the map as you can see. So, yeah, this is the same. Ooh, it's got a musky smell to it. It's like Sex Panther cologne. Remember that from the Anchorman? Works 35% of the time, all the time. So those are the 1106 box sets, which were the same as the big 1070 box set, and those were all $20 a piece. And the big box set came out in 91. The 2 identical box sets, they came out in 94. Now, this is the Dungeons and Dragons adventure game, and the adventure begins now. And this was the last basic dungeons. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think there may have been a couple of Thunder Rift products that came out after this, but this was the last basic box set that came out. And this is actually different than the previous 3 box sets that we already had taken a look at. But yeah, as you can see, it has really nice art. And this is by Bill Slavicsek. So he's an old timer with TSR and Wizards of the Coast and stuff like that. So this is actually different than what was in the 1106s and the 1070 big box. Like I said, has you read this first about what's in. But this is what I loved when I first bought this, and I opened it up. I thought it was going to be Zanzer's Dungeon again, seriously. And and another thing before I go on, another thing was this had a price. I think the serial code for this is like 11,500 or 11,450. So this has got a pretty high product ID, but this was only a $9.99 box. And I was like, wow, the price has really gone down on D&D. So I was like, are they hurting for people? Which, yes, they were for basic Dungeons and Dragons. By this time, first edition was out. Second edition had been out for about a year already, and this box set came out in 99. But when I opened it up, I was like, hey, this is going to be another Zanzer's remake. Sorry, my hillbilly accent kicking in there. But no, it's not. It's got this place called the Vale. And that was a nice breath of fresh air. And as you can see with the map, it's just a small little area with a bunch of adventure hooks. And I was like, this is really cool. And then it had all of your rules and stuff for casting and fighting on here. And it had everything else on the back, with checks and stuff like that. By this time, the ability checks from the Rule Cyclopedia were part of this as well. So because this came out obviously after the Rule Cyclopedia in 91. But here's a little town called Haven. And I was like, wow, this is really cool, because you don't see this kind of stuff. And I was like, and it's got all the, locales numbered and stuff. And, in your adventure book, you also got a couple of books as well. So you got your ooh, look at that. I got that staple rust there. I don't have much staple rust, but yeah, here's the rule book, and here's everything you need, and talks about the dice like every other beginning book, and moving and everything else. Oh, there's a damn bookmark that I used to. I'm finding everything, guys. And gals, look at that. I'm finding everything that that's been lost for 20 years. I still can't. The dice, man. What's up with that? But see, this is another thing that I liked. Look at this random dungeon generator. That's like really cool. And it has all kinds of different tables and weapons that you find and all that other good stuff. And then here's the, yeah, another bookmark. So here's all the monsters. And then it has like art and stuff. I mean, this is beautiful. This is amazing. So that's the rules book. And then here's the adventure book that has, I think there's 3 adventures in here. So, and these are new. These are not even part of, Zanzar's Dungeon, like the last multiple box sets. But here's Adventure 1, The Mystery of Undertown. And then it has like a map. Too bad there wasn't like full-blown maps. That would have been super awesome. But, I mean, it's a $10 price point. And, $10 price point is pretty cheap. And then here's, I think, the second adventure here, which is The Haunting of Black Isle. And then it has maps there and, all the stats for the monsters. And it's got art in there. Adventure 3, To Find the Dragon's Lair. And then there's the Dragon's Lair. I mean, this is awesome, man. For $19.99, this is pretty awesome. This is pretty slick. And then it has all kinds of, like, weapons. And, oh, my God, look at how bad my writing is. Holy cow. How horrible is that? Ugh. Look at that horrible writing. No wonder why I can't read my content that I've created. So here's the new versions of, I believe that was second edition, the second edition books. I think that was. So there's that, and then these are what I really liked. Oh man, these are beautiful. These are character sheets, and they're like fold out character sheets. And it has everything, equipment and everything. I mean, these are like so far ahead of their time compared. I mean, these are better than what we got in the 5th edition starter box set. But there's Alana the Human Fighter. Here's Peregrine, the Paladin. There's Michifer the Priest. Sunblaze, the Elf Fighter Wizard. There's well, the elf was the fighter wizard. So there's the human fighter Darkblade. There's the dwarf fighter Thordar. So there's basically one of every core and basically hybrid class, which is cool. Or the demi-humans, as they're called. There's the halfling Niles, and then Thaddeus, the human wizard. So yeah, these were all really cool. These are really nice character sheets and stuff. So yeah, and then of course it had a set of dice as well. So that's everything in the 1999 basic Dungeons and Dragons starter box set. And like I said, this was pretty much the last. I think this is one of the last items that came out for basic Dungeons and Dragons. And this is actually a pretty thin box set too. But yeah, there's all the 4 different beginner box sets that came out that were, come out after the red box. Now, this Dungeons and Dragons, this has a great. I found this just by sheer luck, and you can see this is still on the wrapper. I never opened it up, and this is Diablo 2. Everybody knows. If you're into RPGs, chances are you know what Diablo is. It's a very, very, very popular, one of the best video games of all time. I don't care if anybody doesn't like Diablo 3, but the Diablo series is one of the best computer games that ever came out. And this is believe it or not, this is a Diablo 2 Dungeons and Dragons game. I'm like, okay, this is a computer game. This is pretty awesome. And then, when I started reading it, it says tabletop RPG, no computer required. And this is from Wizards of the Coast. So there's the Wizards of the Coast logo. And I got this probably around maybe 2001, 2002-ish. And never seen this before. I've even looked online, and I believe one of my players, Lance or Pernicious Pilfer, he found this, and it's pretty pricey. And I know that there's this version, and there's also a D&D 3.5 version for this, and there's an advanced Dungeons and Dragons version. So there's multiple versions of this Diablo 2 D&D box set, but supposedly the D&D one here is supposedly by far the rarest of all three of those Diablo box sets. And I never opened it up. Well, back when there used to be computer game stores, I mean, there's still a couple now, but I remember I think it was EB Games, Electronic Boutique Games. And this was in the bargain bin because, all these computer stores, they would have these big bargain bins that you would have to like climb into to get down to the bottom to find, the great treasures down at the bottom. Well, this was $5. And I was in there to pick up a video game. And I was like, man, I saw this and I'm like, holy cow, I got to buy it. So I bought it. I mean, it was, this was $5, man. And I think Lance said that this is about $50 to $100 or something like that now. But I mean, it has everything you need. It's got 2 books. It's got a DM screen. It's got 12 sheets of dungeon building tiles. That seems pretty cool. It's got 5 hero folders right from the computer game. Like I know it has the Barbarian. There's a Paladin. There's the Amazon or the Javazon, if you like the Javazons or the javelins with it's got the Necromancer and the Sorceress as well. So it's got pre-made character sheets, and then it has the 6 dice you need, and you can just replay this all the time. And I'll tell you what. Oh yeah, some people are even saying that they're like $250 plus, but the ones that are like for that price are opened and stuff. I mean, this is like not open. So if my players wanted to play this, man, I might open it up if they wanted to play this. I think that would be fun to play something so old like this. But as of right now, sorry everybody, I am not going to open this up as of right now. So now the last 2 box sets, these are super rare as well. And the first one here it's the Wrath of the Immortals. And I actually never owned this. I never bought it. This came out, I believe, in 92, 93-ish. And this was still a product of TSR. And it's got the code number of 1082. And it had a $20 box set price. At this time, my son was born and I was strapped for cash. Just like any other young parent out there, you're worried about diapers and formula if you're not breastfeeding and all that other stuff. So I never bought this. So this and also the Champions of Mystara box sets. These were the last 2 items that I needed to complete my entire basic D&D collection. Well, I'll take that back. I needed a couple of other books as well, and they were, I don't know if you guys can see, but they're the Poor Wizard's Almanacs. I needed part 1 and 2. So I needed 4 items, and boy were they expensive. But the Wrath of the Immortals, I paid I think about $135 for it. And I actually got this at El Paso Con. And this is, as you'll see, you'll notice that this says Challenger Series. And from what I understand, what the Challenger Series is the Challenger Series products, which there weren't many. Maybe I think there was like 12 total items that came out during Challenger Series, like these two box sets, and then there was like a couple of modules from the DDA series. I think it was like Theatus and Legion of Theatus. So there was like a 2-book module. There was like the Dimerac Dread, and then these box sets, and I believe there was like character sheets or something like that. But all of this Challenger Series stuff, from what I understand, and if I'm wrong with this, I apologize, and please let me know down in the comments section. But I think all of this has to do with the Rules Cyclopedia. You know, the big hardback that came out in 1991 that I showed you guys in the last video. So I believe that this had to do with Rules Cyclopedia. So I could stand to be corrected on that, and if I'm wrong, please, I'm sure somebody will let me know. Geez, Dave, you're totally wrong on that. You're such an idiot. I'm sure someone will let me know. So yeah, but I think that's what the Challenger Series is from. But the Wrath of the Immortals, I needed this, and I paid a pretty good chunk of money for it, and because I was like, hey, I only need like 4 things to complete the entire D&D collection, and I went ahead and I pulled the trigger on it. In fact, the guy that I bought this from, the almanacs from, this guy that I bought, he actually took the stuff out of his personal collection to sell it to me, and I had to buy 2 almanacs with the maps in them. You'll see those in a later video. So yeah, I spent about $500 on, which it completes my collection. But the box is in beautiful shape. I mean, it really is. It's got a little bit of wear, but I mean, no breaks, nothing like that. I mean, it's a beautiful, beautiful set. And I wish I did buy this for $20 back when I saw it originally came out, but. So the Wrath of the Immortals, it did a couple of things. Now, in the BECMI video that I showed you with the Immortals box set, Wrath of the Immortals greatly expands on the box set, the Immortals box set. And I mean, there are so many additional, rules, because the box set, the player's book wasn't very big. But this Codex of the Immortals, man, this goes into so much detail about creating an immortal character, and that's level 36 plus. And I wasn't a big fan of Immortals. But yeah, this has everything, artifact creation. It has a lot of, magical items in it. And, tons of ways and tons of charts, to actually add powers to all these artifacts and stuff. So yeah, it was 4 Rules Cyclopedia, and it had a huge amount of additions from, and changes from the gold box or the Immortals box that came out, years prior. And then it also has the Wrath of the Immortals second book, which is the Immortals Fury, which is a huge adventure. It's, 100 and some page? No, it's like 90, almost 100 pages. And this is an adventure for Immortals, which is actually really nice. I mean, I've looked at it a couple of times, but, I wasn't really too thrilled with the way the Immortals were in the box set. But with Wrath of the Immortals, with the massive, 100-page, 128-page book for creating Immortals, I would probably relook this again and possibly do some Immortal stuff. So yeah, but I totally regret not getting this when it did come out, and wow, it was crazy. So this is an adventure, and then it has a bunch of timeline stuff where the Immortals destroyed a lot of Mystara, which is, the default D&D world. And then all of the lands are called the known world. And then, of course, you got Hollow World inside of the known world, which is inside of the planet itself. And so this covers, all of the destruction of the known world that happened, and a huge adventure for your players as well. And then here's a couple of maps that actually updated Mystara, because a lot of the lands were destroyed. So, and I'm not going to open these up, but these are huge 8-panel maps. So they're 8, well, they're 4 across and 2 panels high. And these are all of the modifications to the known world after, the Immortals went into their wrath on Mystara. So this has a lot of great lore. I did read a little bit of it, and it was actually really good. And that's what started making me think, well, maybe I might do something with Immortals if my players ever get up that high. So, but yeah, there's the Wrath of the Immortals. It's an expensive box set. I regret not getting it. And it's a pretty rare box set as well. So, yeah. So this is the last box set, and this is the box set that I really liked. And I didn't have this either. I remember it being out as well. This is also part of the Challenger series, so it's adaptable with, the Rule Cyclopedia. And in the Rule Cyclopedia, there was nothing about, ships or flight or anything like that. And Champions of Mystara, it came out, I think, 93 or so. And this is box number 1094. And this has a original price of $20. I definitely didn't pay $20 for it. I think I paid around $80 for this. But this is the cheaper of the two box sets between this and Wrath of the Immortals. But I needed this. This was the other box set that I did not have. And there's so much stuff in here. I mean, this is a great box set. And it has the Winter 1993 catalog, which is awesome. Look at that. Dragon Quest, I actually have that. I remember playing that. I'm going to bring back. My son and I played that too. I better not mention my son. I'll start crying again. So, sorry. Yeah, so here's Champions of Mystara. And this is the heroes from the Princess Ark. Now, if you guys were into Dragon Magazine and Dungeon Magazine, a long time ago, issues 1... I mean, this is a huge series. The heroes of the Princess Ark. This is like, I'm taking a guess, 153 to 170, I think, or 168 or 170. But it was articles in Dragon Magazine that talked about the heroes of the Princess Ark. And it had all their logs and talked about the ship and adventures and all that stuff. And that was really cool. But this Champions of Mystara, this continues on after the last Dragon Magazine that, Heroes of the Princess Ark was in. So this first book has all the continuation, and it has all the chronicles and the logs and all that stuff. It's just amazing. And, this is in super nice shape too. The pages are just fresh and white. And after the chronicles, it talks about the ship itself, the Princess Ark. It talks about all of the weapons. It has all of the crew. It talks about all the crew from the captain all the way down to, some of the like soldiers and stuff and the pirates and stuff that are on the ship. So, and then it has art. Haldemar the Haken or the Haken. And then it has all the maps for each deck of the ship. And then it talks about every single location on the deck of the Princess Ark as well. And I remember reading about, these adventures and stuff. So, to see that box set come out, that was actually pretty cool. So, and then it has all kinds of other information like life on board and, the future history of the ship. And then it has some new monsters as well, like the Night Dragon, the Rakasta, the Skyworm, etc. So that was, it's a beautiful, beautiful book. And then this actually has 3 books in the box set. And the second book is the Designer's Manual. And this Designer's Manual, like I said, airships were not in the Rule Cyclopedia. So, this box set introduced all the mechanics, all the rules and all that stuff for, aerial ships, combat, etc. And it also has, which is awesome what's in this book, it has all your character sheets and example sheets and everything, and all the micromanagement, but it has, the guide on creating a ship from the ground up. And it's all step by step. And it's so easy to, and this is one thing that I actually looked at, And yeah, this reminds me somewhat of Starfinder, some 30 years later. And yeah, it talks all about, building your ship from the ground up. I mean, it's awesome. And then it has like all kinds of like fantasy engineering for like special things that you can add onto your ship. And, it's awesome. All the different mechanics and weather changes and gravity. I mean, this has everything. How to travel to other moons and stuff like that. I mean, this has everything. This is a great book. But that's the designer's manual. And then last but not least, this is all great about the ships and, everything about, the ship. But I mean, the Princess Ark was good, but the Explorer's Manual is what I liked, because you guys know that I am a huge Dungeons and Dragons Gazetteer fan. And this is like almost a whole new Gazetteer. And this actually has a whole book of Gazetteer info on the Great Waste. And it actually has maps. So I'll kind of come back on the maps, but it has maps on I think this expanded to the west of the known world. So here's a beautiful 8-panel Serpent Peninsula map. So this is all, there's no Gazetteers for this. So this was awesome to see. And I loved the Gazetteers, man. And then here's the next map. And this is the Great Waste. And then it has Sayre Yulan, the city. But these maps are absolutely beautiful, man. Took a lot of time to make these and design these, and I'm sure they are probably using something like Photoshop by now to make these. But yeah, so it has, the Explorer's Manual has everything about the 2 new areas, new monsters, etc., new magic items and artifacts, and then it has the maps to go with them. I mean, this is like so crazy. I mean, that was like what I really was really excited when I saw that. And another great thing was, not only did it have those little hand-drawn maps of the Princess Ark that was in the book, but here's 2 maps, full-blown 1-inch grid maps on the Princess Ark, with all the different levels and stuff like that. I mean, these maps are beautiful, and I really don't want to open them up because I don't want to take the risk of damaging them, but look at those. Those are just stellar, man. Those are beautiful maps. These are like Zovia and Joshua Whatmow quality maps. Seriously. And then with, the ships and stuff, it had these cards and on ships. So it had all of the stats for Aslam's Geodome airship and the Alphatian Man of War with Abarax's Dragon Prow longship, and it has all the stats and all of the artillery and stuff. Hey, these are awesome, man. Like a shark airship, a duck, a swan airship, a swan airship. Check out that. The flying barge of Sayre Ulan, and there's an Alphatian yacht. But yeah, it had these in there as well. I mean, this is great stuff, and to see this much stuff in a box set, man, that was awesome. So those are the box sets that I have for basic Dungeons and Dragons. But yeah, I didn't have these last 2. Whoa, listen to that. But I totally regret not buying these now. But hey, when you're a young father and you got a kid, man, you change all of your spending. So, but I hope you guys enjoyed this video, this What's on Dave's Shelf. I get a lot of people always ask me, what's on your shelves? So I'll be doing a lot more of these videos, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and please feel free to leave a comment down below if there's something that I misspoke or anything. Please let me know in the comment section. But I try to do this all by memory. So, but yeah, thank you guys for watching. Leave a comment. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys have any of this stuff? Do you guys remember having this stuff, etc.? So thanks again for watching. Stay safe. Thumbs up the video if you like it. Also, subscribe to the YouTube channel. So until next time, stay safe, everybody. Bye-bye.